Golf is a passion for some and an obsession for others. But how do the top pros feel about a game that's also their job? Today we hear from Canada's Mackenzie Hughes.
I first fell in love with golf for a sport when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and my parents were starting to play golf at that time, and they took me out to the course, and it was just one of those things where it started out, as just an activity to do, and then more and more I played, I just became, attached to it. I loved the challenge of it. I loved, being outside. And there were so many things that I just couldn't get enough of, but that's kind of when it all started, around 7 or 8. Again, with every sport you can always get better, but with golf, I feel like there's so many areas of the game that you can get better at, and there's limitless, potential in terms of like working on your game, improving skills. So that part of it for me is really fun, and then I just enjoy the competition. I love hitting difficult shots. I love, that challenge of it too. So that's probably, the biggest thing that keeps me going every day is those challenges that keep again, they're fun to me. I like to think of it that way. I don't think there was like a moment where I was like, the light bulb went off and it was like, oh, this is gonna be something I do. I knew as a teenager, I wanted to certainly try to make this into something bigger, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna play on the PGA TOUR, I'm gonna win the Masters. It was just, I wanted to see where I could take it. I wanted to keep getting better, and I got to a certain point when I was in college, I thought, you know what, if I can keep progressing well and come out of college, as a better player, then I've got a chance to turn pro and maybe do something with it. So, you have your moments where you fall out of love with the game, especially when you go through a tough stretch, or if you miss a few cuts in a row, or longer, you might have stretches where the game just seems really hard. Everything just seems like a struggle, and when you go through those stretches, it really tests, it tests that kind of love, you always say, like you go through moments where you're like, oh, I should just stop playing. You say, oh, I just gotta stop playing this game. This game's driving me nuts. But ultimately, I love it so much that I could never walk away from it. It'd be a very hard game for me to say, oh, I'm just not gonna, play it anymore. So there are times when that love is tested, but it's the greatest game ever.